Here's 5 signs it might be time to find a new property manager. I'm BJ. We manage properties in Maryland and DC. And here's number 1, long vacancy times. It takes forever to get the property leased. So one of these biggest things here is if you know the property as a property manager, you're in the property during the lease. And the tenant's getting ready to move out, you should have an idea of what that turnover is going to look like. You should be able to maybe get bids or already have vendors that have given you a price for new carpet, new paint, that kind of stuff that speeds up that move out turnover to time back on the market and leasing. Another thing that we'll talk about a little bit further is when that lease renewal comes up, is it proactive? And if we started that conversation 60 days before, so we have an idea of when that vacancy is going to happen and we have an idea of what that property looks like so we can be ready and be systematic. If the property's in really good shape, the tenants have taken care of it, that property should be on the market 30 to 45 days before the vacancy to actually start gathering leads. So number 1, long vacancy. And then the biggest reason for this is you can't recover lost rent. You're going to have a leasing fee. You're going to have some turnover costs, but we got to minimize that vacancy time. And the market's changing, the market's adjusting. This last winter went through a long, hard winter where really nobody was moving. But spring, we have properties on the market. Before the tenant moves out, we have tenants ready to move in before the tenant's even vacated. We go in, do a turnover, the property, somebody's moved into it within a couple weeks. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2 is maintenance. This one's huge. I mean, we feel like in property management, our biggest job is kind of 3 things: collecting rent, handling maintenance, and then leasing the property. And so number 2 being maintenance. If the property manager is not being proactive or very responsive on maintenance and giving you good information on what it's going to cost, that costs a couple things. A, the tenants aren't happy. It's taking too long to fix stuff. Maybe you're overpaying for it. And it also then costs you, maybe the tenants aren't going to stay, and it could cost you vacancy. So maintenance is something we really, really take pride in. We have an in-house staff, we have multiple maintenance coordinators, and we have preferred vendors that are really good at handling stuff. And so if it's HVAC issue, maybe a furnace filters issue, we'll send one of our in-house guys out there to diagnose it. If it's pretty simple, like changing the filter or something the tenant should be doing, we can knock that out, it's fixed. If it's something a little bit bigger, we can get one of our third-party vendors out there very quickly to handle it, to diagnose it, and then get us bids if it's a bigger item. But the thing is we want to take care of it as quick as possible and as cost effective as possible. A, so we're not wasting your money, and B, to keep the tenant happy. All right, so that's number 2. Number 3 is lease renewals. So if they're not being proactive on what that tenant is thinking at the end of the lease, and also what your plans are at the end of the lease, A, it leaves you, if the tenant moves out, in a really short turnover window. B, are they maybe leaving rent on the table for rent increases? So our system is 60 days before that lease ends, we're reaching out to the tenant and you to say, hey, what's your plans? Tenant, are you planning to renew? Yes, great. Owner, these guys are looking to renew. We looked at the market, everything's going good. We suggest a small increase of 3%, 2%, 5%, whatever that is, based on the market, based on the tenant. If the tenant's not taking care of the property and they're planning to stay, maybe we look at a larger increase because you need to be compensated for them not taking care of the property. DC is a very tough place to get a tenant out. If they're paying rent, but maybe not taking care of the property as well as we like, we would look at a higher increase. So we're actually offsetting those costs. So number 3 is making sure that when lease renewals come up, you're informed, you know what's gonna happen. We're getting rent increases or we're signing a long-term lease if we can. If the tenants stay month to month, we're maybe going to add a small month-to-month fee holdover for them, okay? Number 4, accounting, having access to an owner portal and looking at the financials of your property and knowing what's happening there. So when we look at the property portfolio and your access, we want to give you as an owner as much financial information as we can. So you can get profit and loss statements, all this kind of stuff. But we have an owner portal where you can log in, you see access to all of your statements, access to the lease, access to the rental license, access to everything that we have that has to do with your property. You can log in, look at it, pull it up. And if you want more reports, you can always say, hey, can I get a report, last year compared to this year? All the different types of reports. So it's all about transparency and giving you the information you need so you can make good financial decisions on the property and be in the loop on what's happening. So a pretty simple one is rent's due the 1st, late the 5th. By the 10th, you're getting rent minus any management fees or maintenance. And that should be like clockwork. And then you're getting a P&L, a statement every month showing rent that came in, any expenses that went out. At the end of the year, you're getting a year summary of that, for your tax purposes, plus a 1099, okay? All right, and then the last thing, and I think this is actually one of the things we do really, really well, is communication. If you're having a hard time getting a hold of your property manager, they're not responding to phone calls, everything goes to voicemail, or you send an email and it sits for 2-3 days, and they're giving you vague answers, that kind of stuff. Communication is the most important. We feel like there's issues that happen that we maybe can't fix right away, but we have to keep you in the loop. If you want to know what's going on and you're interested in your property and you reach out, we should be updating you. Worst case, we can't fix it today and there's something we're working on and it's going to take longer than we thought. We want to make sure we keep you updated. So if your property manager is unresponsive or delays in getting back to you or maybe giving you vague answers, that probably is the number one reason to look for a new property manager. But these are the 5 reasons. And these are 5 things we feel like we do a really good job at. Look at our reviews. We have a lot of 5-star reviews. We have some, especially if you look back in the day, we have a lot of low reviews. We have a new staff that we've had for now 8-9 years that are fantastic. The growing of the business can be tough. And part of that is we used to take on any property we could get, any owner we could get, and then we get bad tenants. We call that the cycle of suck. You have a bad property, an owner that doesn't want to put money into it, you're gonna get bad tenants, and then you get bad reviews. So now we've really shifted that to, we're very, very picky about the properties we bring on, and we want to make sure that owner is a really good owner that's investing in their property. They understand property management, and if we do that and we have a good property, good owner, we're going to attract good tenants, and then that cycle is fixed. And now we have a good property, good owner, attract good tenants. Your life's much easier. Our life is much easier. So these are the 5 things to look at. If you have any questions, again, we do property management in Maryland, DC. And we feel like we're very good at these things. Give us a call. We'd love to help you, even if it's just answer some questions, bounce some ideas off of us, or you can actually reach out and we can send you, how we can help you with your property. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like. We have a lot of other videos kind of about this, about how we handle lease renewals. We have one about how we do property inspections. You can actually see in your property on a regular basis. That stuff's going to be all added here. So thank you for watching.